Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective, where you get a little bit of something and a whole lot of everything. Happy Monday. It is Monday, and it is the first full week of the Aloha Perspective returns. I noticed I use my hands a lot. Sorry. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. So anyways, I'm back. And that's right, I am back, right? 2 days off, and it's like, oh, is she going to show up or not? No, I'm here. But I wanted to start with, I have the morning mantras. It's part of the daily affirmators that I used to have from a while ago. That's actually what started the show 4 years ago, back in July, under a different name, of course. But I'm actually going to visit the Heal Yourself book, and I don't want to lose anyone, okay? Which is why I shuffled everything already, because I know people see shuffling and it's like, what is she doing? Is she doing the woo-woo stuff again? And it's like, no. There are messages, okay? Woo-woo stuff comes on Friday. Monday through Thursday, it's all talk. It's all talk, all, sharing from experiences, doing all the things. But yeah, so I'm gonna go with the Heal Yourself deck. Like I said last Thursday, I'm gonna be talking sporadically about the healing journey I was on from the place of healing, not being on the journey still. So I'm on a different journey now. It's the journey to kind of discover the unknown. And what was interesting is this was the card that came out of the mantra box, right, when I shuffled. But what's fascinating is that I picked up the cards because I noticed the box was breaking, so I went to glue it back together, and I didn't see this card. And then when I was putting the deck of cards on top of the box so it can, make the glue work, I noticed this card was sitting out there, and I read it, and it's like, oh my God, this is also perfect. So I'm going to read those two last, because what I want to cover today is really about some of the things we struggle with, right? So last week I did mention that my friend holds a live space under Starting Anew 13. So STARTINGANEW, the number 13. On Twitter, it's 4:30 Pacific time, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, or Eastern Time. And so, because she's on the other coast, but it's about mental health, right? And today is about shame. And I was actually going to talk about shame today, but I don't want to step on their toes, because it's a great show. It's a safe space for you to just kind of chime in and listen to other people. And everybody's story is different, no matter how similar they might seem. The journey that we takes different paths, and each journey is really in its own way different. So it's a group of different people talking and sharing their experiences. So we'll do shame another day, okay? But I did want to talk about so I actually found a bunch of cards, as I mentioned last week, that I graduated from therapy. I know, super scary. But the other thing happening right now is, here comes a little bit of the woo-woo stuff, but it's actually nature, okay? We're in the throes of a super full blue moon. So super moon, blue moon, full moon, okay? So super full blue moon. So what that means is, in the way back days, the blue moon was generally referred to as two moons within the same month. But now, more commonly, a blue moon is three full moons. I'm sorry, 3 full moons within one season. So usually there's what is it? Usually I can't remember, but I just remember they said it was 3 full moons in one season. So that's kind of, not normal, right? It's usually 2 new moons, 2 blue moons, poof, or two new moons, 2 full moons, and then poof. But this one we have 3. We have 3 full moons in this season. So I'm not sure how they do that. The way I learned it is a blue moon was 2 moons in 1 month, 2 full moons in 1 month. But whatever. Anyways, it's a super blue moon. And so what that means, no, the moon will not be blue. I just tried to explain in my own sad way what the blue moon is. But this is not going to happen again until 2037. So so 13 years from now, we're going to get another one of these super moon events. But the thing about the full moon is a time to let go. Okay. In old traditions, the the full moon was about, like the waxing of the new moon meant, you put out your intentions, you say your prayers, whatever it is that you turn your focus to, and you let it grow. And then when you get to the full moon, all the stuff that you don't need anymore, you let go, because now the moon is going to be waning, right? It's going to be waning into the new moon, which is, basically disappearing in the sky. So, as we, I mean, it's still there. Don't worry. The moon is still there. It's just the way it hits around the sun. It's going to be, dark. It's going to be getting darker. So in that, a tradition arose, an old classic tradition of letting things go during the full moon. Now, this is also here comes the more woo woo. It is also a full moon in Aquarius. Now, Aquarians are rebellious. They're fun in nature. My mother was an Aquarian. My last boyfriend was an Aquarian. My mother was an Aquarian. So, it's funny. It's funny the things you learn after people pass away. Because my mom, my mom was very Catholic. I mean, not hardcore, like, in your face Catholic, but she was very true to her religion and very true to herself, raised me in the Catholic tradition, and, freaked out a little when I went rogue. But, so I'm kind of a lapsed Catholic, but I know in my heart I will always be a Catholic just for my mother. But yeah, I have a very full spiritual table, but I found out you did not mess with her when she was a kid. My aunt used to say, yeah, if someone was picking on someone else or someone was picking on your mommy learned how to fight and she would take them on after school. It's like, what? But she was kind of the superhero of the schoolyard, right? So I know, but it's kind of like, wait, what? Are we talking about the same person that raised me? Nah, no. But anyways, so one of the things I learned when it comes to the full moon and letting go. All right. Don't even worry about, how this might affect your beliefs. Like, oh my God, here she goes talking about this stuff. It's about the tradition of it. It's about knowing what to let go of, when to let go of it, and what to embrace. The great thing about the Aquarians being rebellious is that, they kind of go against the grain. And, they kind of step out of that comfort zone, and they try to teach you how to step out of that comfort zone. And honestly, I just really kind of learned all that about Aquarians. Good morning, older sibling. And it explains a lot of how my mom raised me. She always wanted me to be more adventurous, to be just, in her eyes, stronger, although I was strong, just in my own way, but more adventurous, more thrill-seeking, And I get that now. And that's funny because I'm not going to talk about it today, but the card coming up sometime this week will be the wild card. And it kind of, to me, maybe we will cover it today, because I think that might be important. It kind of personifies the season, right? Just getting out there, being wild, being crazy. And I don't mean illegally, okay? Do it legally and do it within your limits, because you don't want to step over your limits. Otherwise, you're not going to enjoy it, right? It's like excessive drinking. Like, for me, this is a weird tell how I know that I need to stop drinking. And this has happened a few times where I've gotten a full drink and I just kind of start sipping it, and people will notice, like, whoa, you know it, you're not. And it's just, because I hit my limit, and when I hit my limit, I can't swallow it anymore. And if I force it, I'm going to have a hangover. And so if I don't force it, then I know I'm done, and I know I'm going to be okay the next day. And yeah, it's been a while since I forced it, because it's just like, oh, I don't like that feeling. But you kind of lose track of everything else that, all the fun you were having. Okay. No, I'm not saying drink excessively. I'm not saying go out there and drink. You don't need to drink to have fun. You can do fun in your own way. 9 times out of 10, I am the designated driver. So I have learned how to have fun in my own way, and I think for me, to be honest with you, it was one of the things I had to let go of, was that shyness, was that timidness. Like I used to think, well, I need alcohol to make myself feel more outgoing. And I've never excessively drank. I mean, maybe on celebrations and stuff. My 40th birthday is a bit of a blur from way back. But for my last big birthday, I learned better. But, well, a little. I think I sweated most of it out because it was pretty warm that day. But it's about, for me, it was about stepping out of that comfort zone and realizing, hey, you know what? I have the the whatever inside of me to just have fun. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to bring up Take Off Your Mask. Now, this is the healing card deck, and not every perspective is going to have a card. Okay, I know that Friday we had one, and I know today we have one, but these are not just random things that I'm bringing up to do the oracles on like I do on Friday. These are things that were planned out. These are things that kind of fall together. And, the fact that the unicorn card kind of just snuck its way out of the deck and said, hi, I'm here, I think says a lot. So with this card, it's about taking off your mask, right? The art on this card is very fascinating and very, very intricate, I want to say. It's just, I don't always feel like, I don't know, I like them. I'm not sure, I don't know why, but it's so, sometimes they're so dark too. It's just kind of like, whoa, just kind of takes your mind, to, I don't know. Anyways, talking out of my ass today. So let me calm down. I think I'm still a little nervous, you guys, for restarting this show, because I've been out of the groove for so long, and I've been out of tune with myself for so long. So it's really about just kind of, it's really just kind of about finding my way again and finding my, sorry, there's something floating around here. So anyways, the card is Take Off Your Mask. So stop trying to appear different to who you really are. It's time to take off your mask and be the real you. You cannot get the love and attention you are craving by pretending to be someone you are not. Why are you so frightened to be honest with yourself and others? Do you feel that you will lose friends and opportunities by showing others your imperfections, fears, and vulnerabilities? Are you constantly doing things to please others, even if this does not work for you? This card indicates that you need time to get to know yourself and what is important in your life. You will know that you are evolving when other people's judgments of you no longer impact you. If you have an incredible talent, believe in yourself. Don't hide your greatness because others feel envious or resentful. Remember, every great leader had people who loved them and believed in them, as well as those who doubted and disliked them. I think politics, just as a side note, is really a good example of that, right? I mean, there's a lot happening in this country right now, and I don't want to step out of my lane, because I know there's a lot of different lanes that surround me. But I think politics is the same way. There's a lot of people who are going to like you, and there's a lot of people who aren't. But you just keep doing what you're doing. And here's the thing: if people don't like you, don't worry about it. That was one of my biggest issues with myself, was that I always tried so hard to get people to like me. I always tried to be whatever, for people to like me. And I'm constantly trying to remind myself, and I'm constantly being reminded by the people around me, just be yourself. But taking off the mask is one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. And I'm still working on it. I know that this journey that I was on has been so long, and I've talked about it for years on this show, but getting to the end of it and looking back and saying, wow, if I would have just trusted the process, trusted myself, and, trusted the people around me, I would have been probably where I'm at now so much sooner. However, I do know that divine timing is a thing, and I know that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be at the time I'm supposed to be, because here's the thing. Healing journeys, any kind of journey you're on, there's no time limit. Okay, it's all about your comfort zone, but you have to find a way to push yourself out of the comfort zone. It took me as long as it took me, because I had a lot of different things piling up against me, and I had a lot of just cowering in the corner going, oh, again, why now? Oh, okay, I feel like I'm being shot out of a cannon again. That was the beginning of my journey. That's exactly how I felt. On a roller coaster, being shot out of a cannon. It was like a whole circus act. Okay, it was like the county fair visited Shelley's brain. And hunkered down, so, and all of it felt like it was without a net, right? Being shot out of the cannon, doing the high flying trapeze act, walking on a tight wire, all these things. So the part of the problem was taking off that mask. I am a recovering people pleaser. I am a recovering overthinker and worrier. And I know I'm not the only one, which is why I sit here and I open up myself to share these things, because I think it's important for other people to know that they're not alone. When I found the community of mental health people that I found and that I talked about last week, it was a game changer for me. I didn't feel alone in the trauma I had struggled and suffered from. And I gained strength, and I gained wisdom, and I gained foresight, and I realized, oh, they do things this way. I've done it this way. There's a lot of things I watch on YouTube now where it's like, wait, I already know all this stuff. And then I think to myself, well, if you already know all this stuff, why are you not applying it? Right? Take off your mask. Taking off your mask and just being yourself. I know people do online dating, right? And when you do online dating, it's kind of like, well, don't eat the salad. All right. Just eat a nice meal. You don't have to be extravagant about it. Okay. Especially if the other person's offering, you're going on a first date. You don't have to sit there and break their bank. But, even just meet for coffee and have just get to know one another honestly and truthfully, and when I say don't break their bank, I'm talking about the fact that it's like, you're not going there really to have a meal. It's just what's sitting in between you two. But you don't have to have a salad either. All right. Eat something. The person's obviously found something interesting about you that they want to meet in person. So if they want to meet in person, just be yourself. Just be yourself. This all out here, it changes over time. Okay. I mean, come on. We're all born about this big, right? And hello, I grew about 5 feet. So, some of us get taller than that. I mean, I'm 5'4", but, shut up, sibling. I can hear her in my head right now. And, at least I'm still not trying to push the whole 5'5" narrative, because at one point I was 5'5", but I slouch a lot, so probably compressed everything. But anyway, when we take off our mask and we're just being ourselves, that is the best person to be. If that person across the table from you, or that group of people that are just getting to know you, can't jive with you or can't vibe with you, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. They're just not meant for you. But sometimes when you pretend to be somebody and everyone's like, oh my God, or, I'll use this as an example. Okay. So in the old days, because I'm a full-blown Whovian. I love Doctor Who. There's still so many things I'm learning about it because I haven't seen the original show. I'm watching it in bits and pieces, and but I am a reborn, the new era of the Doctor Who's. And there's a lot of people who, even younger than me, know all the stuff going way back, right? They've seen all the shows, and in America, it's only really becoming available to us now. In the last decade or so, that we get all of them without having to scour the internet for it. So, the thing is that, in the old days, I would have been like, well, oh yeah, I knew that. And then you go and Google it, right? You're like, oh, wait, what? What the hell are they talking about? But I've changed now. And because I am the person I am, I don't mind asking questions, because my friends actually got me into the show. They're all like, you need to watch this, you need to start with this doctor and blah, blah, blah. So basically they're all start with 9. All right. And then just, which is basically the new era. So the reason I'm using that as an example is, first and foremost, the newest doctor. Hello, he is just himself, and he is a delight, and I love every bit of it. But there's no mask, right? There's just kind of like, there's every emotion on the planet. Anger, happiness, sadness, joy, a little bit of what? And maybe even a little bit of jealousy or envy from time to time. But the big thing about taking off your mask is that this is how you get to know people. Because when you go into a group of people, even as a new Whovian, right? Well, newish, I'm not that new anymore. But when you go into it and you start talking to people about it, they're more than willing to teach you and be excited about things, because they want to share that with you. But if you go in pretending like you know everything, you may not have the conversations you're going to have. I've almost fallen into several different fan groups, and some of them were just, I don't want to be mean, but some of them were very cliquey. And so this one though, I love it. I'm standing in line at Comic-Con this summer. I'm waiting in the restroom line because there's always a line at the women's bathroom. No matter how big the damn bathroom is, there's always a freaking line. But all of a sudden, the girl notices my lanyard. I mean, I'm wearing my number 13 shirt, but she notices my lanyard. She's like, "Oh, you're a Doctor Who fan too," and conversations ensue. We're just standing there, and she's all like, "Oh yeah, this, that," and I'm like, I said, "You know what? I'm still kind of new." I said, not super new, but still kind of new. So, explain. And rattling off the two of them in front of me. And they didn't even know each other. Okay. They were just talking when I got into line. So fandoms bring people together. Even the cliquey ones, which I'm not going to name names because, you can decide for yourself who you think they are. But I will find that the sci-fi ones are just absolutely nice. They're sweet. They're kind. They just... it's like me when people talk to me about certain things and that I know about, and it's just like I rattle things off because I get so excited about it. You just get so, I don't know, you just get excited about something. And so to be able to share that, but again, if you're wearing that mask, people can't share that with you. Same with sports, right? Same with theater. Older sibling has me stuck on the Broadway channel. And when I'm able to name something that she can't right off the bat, it's like, woo, I graduated. And sometimes she'll sit there and go, the student has become the teacher. And that's exciting because, she's excited to share these things with me and I'm excited to learn about it. I love learning. Learning is such a huge thing for me, and it may not seem like it, but it is. And I love history. I mean, I can go down the YouTube rabbit hole of documentaries all day long. But like I said, circling back into the actual subject, when we wear that mask and we're not who we truly are, it takes work to keep pretending. Okay, so if you walk into this group of Whovians and you're sitting there going, "Oh yeah, I know this, that, and the other, and blah blah blah," and then they ask you about it, and but then maybe the next time you're like, "Oh yeah, I used to love the old shows. I remember, when we could find it sporadically," and then all of a sudden, maybe they bring a new person in that doesn't know, and they ask you, "Well, what did you think about Doctor Number 5?" Okay, I know about 4, but that's why I didn't name 4. But Doctor Number 5, and you're like, So you have to fake it till you make it, right? And then you lie and you're saying that, well, I don't really recall because it wasn't my favorite doctor, but it's okay to admit when you don't know something. That's how we learn. That's how we get to know things. That's how we get to know one another. I mean, you don't walk into meeting different people and say, I know everything about you, right? No. You walk in and you get to know people. That's how we make friends. We just walk into a group of people and decide, hey, let's be friends. And sometimes they stay, what is it? A reason, a season, or a lifetime. Sometimes they come into your life for a reason. Sometimes they come into your life for a season. Sometimes they stay for a lifetime. And if they just kind of fade out, it's okay. It just wasn't meant to be. Now, if they fade out in a big explosive way, hey, you know what? That was just your energy or your higher power, whoever that might be, telling you. You set boundaries and this person didn't like it and they crossed a line. So bye. All right. So take off your mask. Now, I know it can be hard and it can be scary because especially when we just want to be liked, right? Because I have that thing. I just want people to like me. When people don't like me, I just don't understand why. But I get it. I might be too much for some people. And sometimes I think I'm too much for myself. But, I have to live with me. So I deal with it. But, well, what am I saying? I'm a delight. I'm just kidding. I really actually think these things. But for me, that's a big thing because I never used to. I used to really not like myself. And once I learned how to take off the mask and start realizing that, there are going to be people in this life that like you. There are going to be people in this life that don't. There are going to be people in this life that really just don't care. They just got their own group. They're happy with them. And, they're fine with it. And you have to be okay with that. There are things in life that are going to happen that people are going to be, going in and out of and doing that you cannot take personally. I get accused of taking things personally quite a bit. And I don't anymore. I used to in the way back days, but I don't. I'm going to defend my position. And I'm going to tell you about it. And that's that. But I'm not going to wear a mask anymore just to be liked. That doesn't mean you have to be rude about it either. Don't be rude. Don't be mean. Don't be, angry or bitter towards people. Just Set your boundaries. And, even if you have to put the kibosh on things, say, look, you know what? Let's agree to disagree, because this is not going to go anywhere and it's not worth fighting about, because it never is worth fighting about. People have opinions. People will always have opinions, and they're not always going to match our own. Yours is not going to always match theirs, and that's okay. Okay, whether you think you're right or they think they're right, it doesn't matter. Okay, because friendship needs to be more important than opinions, because everybody has an opinion. What is the saying? Opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one. All right, so I'm going to get to these because they're super cute. The morning mantras. Affirmators. The affirmators, look how pretty these are. These are like super pretty, but look how cute they are. Oh my God. Wait, is it too close? I know it's kind of blurry, but it's like two little bugs sitting on a leaf, going down the river, drinking their drinks. All right. So I can't change which way the river bends, so I might as well strap in and enjoy this strange little boat ride. Anyone bring a cooler? So you're saying, Shelly Marie, what does this have to do with wearing a mask? Everything. When we take off our masks, when we heal certain things, even with this full moon that's happening right now, and how I said that full moons are generally about releasing and letting go of things that no longer serve us or our purpose. The scary part is the unknown. And that's the biggest part of my journey now. My journey is a journey into the unknown, because I'm used to having everything planned out. I love surprises, but I don't like surprises, right? Well, I don't always I didn't used to handle things very well when it would kind of upend me. And it was kind of like, wait, but we had a plan. And that was from the trauma brain I had. Because, when you have a plan, things can't go awry and you're in control. But I realized life is not about us being in control. Life is about seeing what's going to happen next. Life is about going with the flow. That's what they're doing. They're glowing. No, they are. They're glowing. They're going and glowing down the river. And they don't know where they're going. I mean, come on, they're two bugs on a leaf. For all they know, they might end up in a little tide and end up drowning. But they're not thinking about that, right? Because it probably won't happen. I mean, if you really stop and think about it, all the freaky stuff that we think about that's going to happen never happens. And we miss out on fun things. Because we're too busy wearing that mask of bravery, or we're too busy wearing that mask of control. And we need to remove those and get rid of those. You need to set boundaries against the negative things in your life. Be like little tiny cute bugs, all right? And just say, you can't change which way the river bends. Just like in Pocahontas, right? Just around the river bend. She didn't know it was just around the river bend. Turns out it was John Smith. But I know. Anyways, I got the song in my head now. So if you're a Disney fan, you know where I'm going. So, strap in and enjoy the ride, right? When you get on a roller coaster for the first time, you can see the roller coaster, but you don't know how it's going to ride, right? It could jiggle the shit out of you, or it could be the best ride of your life, or it could be both. It could jiggle the shit out of you and be the best ride of your life. I have had those. And I mean, because of, because of the sad amount of concussions I've had in my life, I have to really be discerning about what I do and do not ride. But yeah, you don't know. Or, when you're going into like the Haunted Mansion for the first time, right? You don't know if you're going to freak out or not. I mean, yeah, it's a Disney's Haunted Mansion, but when I was a kid, I used to hate that ride. When I was 14, I was 14 when I finally kept my eyes open. And I'm like, what the hell was I afraid of? But that is the perfect example. What was I afraid of? I kept my eyes open. I got off the ride. I did not die. All right. I did not become the 1000th ghost in that ride. Okay. So that's what this is all about. It's about taking the journey and trusting the process. So the last card is, today is a piñata full of unknowns. Time to crack that sucker open and pounce directly on the good stuff. You notice how it's the unicorn, right? Because perfect moments are like unicorns. We call people that, right? Like, when you have the person that does no wrong in your mind, they're the perfect unicorn. They are a unicorn. They do for people. They, without really asking much. I have a lot of unicorns in my life. I have several unicorns in my life. But, and even in dating, right? Some people call the perfect guy or woman that they meet, like the perfect unicorn. But really nobody is perfect. All right. And they have imperfections as well. But maybe what might make them a unicorn in some people's eyes is that they're just honest about who they are. So maybe in a way we're all unicorns when we stop pretending to be something we're not, and we start just being the person that we see in the mirror every morning, the person that we love, that we're not trying to hide from the world. You know, I mean, I mentioned earlier that sometimes I can be a bit much. I laugh loud. I get super giggly. I laugh at my own jokes. I think I'm funny when, you know, I'm not really sure that I am, but the amount of love that I am learning to have for myself is huge. It is huge. And it's the amount of love that we should all have for ourselves. Self-love is not narcissism. Okay, there's a difference. You're not going out there and saying, yeah, look at me. Hey, pay attention. I'm better looking than someone else. No, what you're saying is, hey, I deserve to be in this world. And if people like me, that's great. If people don't, that's okay. Because I like me. Just as I am. And that will be the most important love you ever have. And, you know, I cannot think of it off the top of my head, but one of my favorite Oscar Wilde quotes, which, you know, the funny thing is I can remember it all the time, but the minute I want to quote it, I cannot. But it's talking about to love oneself, you know, so Google it. All right. Oscar Wilde, To Love Oneself, and you'll see the whole quote. But, you do have to spend every moment of every day with yourself, and you can do it wearing a mask and trying to hide yourself from the world and be somebody that you're not. Or you can spend less energy on trying to be somebody else and save that energy for being yourself and putting it out into the world with your friends, your family, whoever, you know, you hang out with. And, you know, just saying, hey, you know, sometimes the unknown might get a little bumpy. Sometimes the river, you know, or the stream might get a little bumpy. But it's okay. Because I can handle it. I can handle it. And you can. Because I believe in you. I trust you. I know that if I can do it, anybody can do it. And, you know, maybe tomorrow I'll talk about, I'm going to try to hold myself accountable for this, but, you know, I have to tell you because I'm still coming out of that whole therapy thing. My brain is not, you know, the last year has been, I don't want to say a blur because it hasn't really been a blur, but my brain is just kind of starting to get back into full Shelley mode again. And, you know, remembering stuff and thinking about stuff is not always that easy. As you can see, we're trying to struggle to find the words. And I think part of that is just the nerves because I am coming back and doing this again. But also part of it is just retraining my brain to remind itself, you know, how important it is, how special it is, and how much it can add to this world, and trying to remind myself to not spend so much energy on being someone I'm not, you know, just to be ourselves. So take off your mask, you know, jump on all the good stuff, pounce on all the good stuff, all right? It's your piñata full of unknowns, and just enjoy the ride. Right? Life is too short to not enjoy the ride. So just stop worrying, stop overthinking, trust that everything is going to work out one way or the other. All right? I know you're sitting there going, because I've been there. Okay? Every time I think that I'm about to hit bottom, something happens and whoosh, just kind of saves me. And I think it's because at some point when we're so close to bottom, it's just kind of like, you know what? Whatever happens, going to happen. And in the weirdest way, that's how we let go. You know, I mentioned the other day that I started reading this book called Fuck It. Fuck It in a spiritual way. And, you know, you may not want to swear. I mean, they said it's kind of a spiritual way, so you should probably use the word. But I get it. There are people in this world that do not swear. So, you know, instead of just saying fuck it, just say, you know what? Forget about it. Forget it. Forget it. Right? That could be your F word. Forget it. And just allow yourself to just be. Just allow yourself to just get out there and be whoever it is you want to be. You know, to experience life the way it's meant to be experienced. It can be scary sometimes, and not all the greatest things are going to happen. You know, I mean, it's been almost 10 years since my mom passed away, and even now it's still kind of like, I can't believe she's been gone. I can't believe she's been gone this long, and I still can't believe she's gone, period. And I think about the things that I've done since she's gone. I think about the things that I'll probably do, you know, in the future. I mean, I don't know what they're going to be, but I think about her not being there for them, you know, and in a spiritual way, I know she will be, but it's not the same as getting that full person hug, right? But I have my dad, and I hold tight to that. I have sibling, I have baby sibling, I have brother from another mother. I have lots of people in my life, and I have lots of people who, you know, I turn to and, you know, just enjoy hanging out with them and spending time with them. And so, you know, but these are the people that I talk with almost every day, even Ate Jr. So, and Eileen, my list is endless. I'm very grateful because I finally took off my mask and I allowed people in to help and guide me. Brother from another mother is helping me, you know, get healthy physically and emotionally. He stays on me every day, you know, wear your watch so you got your thing going, all this stuff. So, you know, sorry guys, I don't know why I put the setting on to public, but for some reason it says only friends, so I'll have to change that after. But anyways, so I'm rambling now, and I promise you I'm going to get back into the full swing of this, and it'll be better. It'll be better. But you can see I don't want to cancel this show anymore, even though I'm not up to full snuff, because, or whatever, I don't know, some of these terms I use, I just pick up throughout my lifetime, and some of them do not age well, and I'm learning that some of them should not be used, and it's kind of like, whoops. But I don't not want to do this show, because I think it's important for people to know that as you're coming out of, you know, different cycles, you don't just come out of them. Sometimes you do, depending on the cycle. But this has been a years-long cycle, and the worst of it has been within the last year. And so I am still trying to find my footing. I'm still trying to find my where I fit into my own world. Not necessarily with my people, because that hasn't changed, but who I am, how I fit into my life now as the person that I am. And a lot of that is taking off the mask and just going with the flow and just pouncing on all the good stuff, right? In that pinata full of unknowns. Unknowns can be exciting, but, you know, just take care of yourselves, watch yourselves, and, you know, don't force yourself into situations that you're not comfortable with. And don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be the person that has to know everything because you're new to a group or something. And then just, you know, it's okay to ask questions. It's okay to say, hey, I'm not really sure about that. Or, you know, it could be about books that were turned into a TV show. And, you know, sorry, that might be my little tell on the group I'm not particularly fond of. But, you know, just because of my own bad experience doesn't mean everybody else is going to have a bad experience. I mean, I don't take one moment and consider it a bad experience. I take several. And when you have more than 2 handfuls of them, that's a problem. So, you know, I just thought, you know what? I'm going to move out of this, and I don't need that. And you know, I'm not really the kind of person that jumps into fandoms, to be honest with you. But I can't lie. The Whovians are my favorite. They are so sweet. They are so kind. It's like my little plug for Doctor Who, right? And they've always been so inviting and so welcoming. And, you know, like I said, they're the kind of people that when you say something, you ask a question, it's like, oh my God, you don't know this? Let me tell you. So yeah, it's, I know, I just need to stop. I'm rambling. Anyways, this is a healing brain. It's rambling. So have a great day, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Pacific time, Facebook Live. All lives are public, except apparently this one. And anybody can watch under Shelly Marie Lucas. Hopefully one day I'll have enough followers on the Aloha Perspective that I can go back to doing it on there. But at the time being, I don't have that many. So I know. People watch the show, but they don't go follow my page. So anyways, but for now, we'll do it here. Okay. So have a great day. Have a great day, everybody. And again, I will see you tomorrow.